Hey, Exoticals, it's your girl back with another Exotical rant. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about where are all the godly men, the godly husbands that are supposed to be looking for Christian women. A lot of women want to know that are in the church. Young women, a lot of us mixed race black girls are in the black church, and we want to know, where is our godly husband? Where is he at? Let's go over a few things in the Bible that they talk about husbands. They say husbands are instructed to love their wives as Christ loved the church, which means it's self-sacrificing love that seeks well-being of the wives, right? That sounds good, right? Then it goes on to say, it encourages husbands to love their wives and not be harsh with them, promoting a gentle and respectful approach. Sounds good, right? It also goes in to say, in the Bible, it says, husbands are called to live with their wives in an understanding way, honoring them and recognizing their value. Sounds good, right? Then it goes on to say, it emphasizes the unity of marriage, indicating husbands and wives become one flesh, highlighting the importance of commitment and partnership. Sounds good, right, ladies? It also goes on to say, while primarily it's talking about virtuous wives, it implies the husband's role in supporting and valuing his wife and her contributions and strengths. That sounds good, right, ladies? Like, you're like, where are these men? And why haven't they married me? We're going to get into it, ladies. Come on. So it's talking about what husbands are supposed to do. They're supposed to love us. They're supposed to have understanding with us. They're supposed to be gentle with us. They're supposed to be providing for us. Yes, it says the primary role is to provide for your wife, and that's in Proverbs. But we're not going to quote too many scriptures. I will put it in the description of the scriptures that I got all my information from. I will have that in the description so you guys can follow along. But it's saying a lot of what husbands are supposed to do. What are wives supposed to do? So you're trying to get a godly husband because you want to be a godly wife. So let's go. It says wives are called to submit to their husband as to the Lord, reflecting a partnership where both play distinct roles. You see, distinct. It says distinct roles. Okay. That's going to also be in the description box. Okay. It also goes on to say the wife, a noble character, emphasizes qualities like strength, wisdom, diligence, and ability to manage her household. Ladies, you listening, ladies? Okay. It says wives are encouraged to submit to their husbands, reinforcing the ideal of mutual respect within the marriage. Okay. You see, submit. We come up on that submit word. This is the second time. Remember, ladies, are you listening? Okay, it also says wives are encouraged to demonstrate their faith through their behavior, which can positively influence their husbands. Okay, we see that, ladies, right? Overall, it's saying that wives are supposed to demonstrate qualities of strength, support, partnership in the context of marriage, right? Okay, we got that, ladies? That's what it's saying about wives. And biblically, it's saying it encourages husbands to be loving, respectful, and supportive partners in their marriages. You see? Okay. A lot of times, let's get right into it, ladies. We just heard about what men are supposed to do, what women are supposed to do, and the roles are supposed to be distinct. So if you're out here dating and you're looking for a godly husband, where do I find this man? First, he finds you. Second, you have to place yourself in the presence of men that you want to date, that you want to you have to see where are godly men or provider men, where do they go and where do they flock to? You need to put yourself in those scenarios because that's what you're looking for, right? What else do you need to do? You cannot be a hot girl. You cannot be have hot girl summers. I mean, especially if you're looking for a husband. You cannot really try to like be a boss. I'm a boss bitch. Like I hear this so much. I'm an alpha female. Most men that are godly men and provider men in general are not looking for boss bitches. They do not want a wife like that. That's not in the description. They don't care what businesses you have. They don't care what monetary that you have. They're looking for a woman that, number one, what did it say? Let's go back what it said. Submit to their husbands. They're looking not be a slave to their husband, but submit to their husband's leadership. So if you're with a man, you've been dating a man, and you do not feel comfortable submitting to his leadership, that is not the man for you, and you are not the woman for him. You do not trust that man. So when you go back, if we're going if we're going based on the Bible, that's a tongue twister. But if we're going based on the Bible, you have to have a man in your life that you trust enough to let go and let him lead. And that is a part of submission. And submission is not being somebody's slave. Submission is not you submitting to your husband or to a man that you trust, that is like your fiance and you guys are about to get married. It's a lot of trust involved. Do you trust this man? That's what, when you date different guys, that's what you need to be looking for. Do I trust this man in partnership? Romantically, in business, as a leader of our household? Do I trust him enough to take his last name, to be the representation for him as a woman? Do I trust him enough? If you don't, you need to abort the mission, okay? If you do not like traditional roles, you are not a biblical wife, okay? The Bible is very traditional. If you don't want to submit to distinct roles, you probably will have a hard time finding a biblical, godly husband that is also a provider. If you think that there's no such thing as gender roles, you should not be trying to quote Bible scriptures to people. You should not be trying to say you're looking for a godly husband, because you're not. Okay? So you have to get real clear about what you're looking for. Are you ready to be in a traditional relationship? Have you seen traditional relationships that are Bible based? Is your mom and dad in a traditional relationship? Are you okay with the roles? Are you okay not being independent? Are you okay being interdependent on your husband? Like it's a lot of things that go into this. If you're not ready to do those things, you should really re-examine what you're actually looking for. Because it's not a traditional biblical relationship. You're not looking for a godly man. You're looking for a man that goes to church. It's a difference. And a lot of women, they get upset because they can't find, he won't go to church with me every Sunday. Okay. Just because people go to church on a religious basis every Sunday or whatnot does not make them have a relationship with Jesus. We understand that. Does not mean they have a relationship with the Most High. It does not mean that they are a godly man. It means that they have religiously chose to go to church every Sunday. Okay? And I want to tell a lot of you women, whatever man you marry is still a man. If you're looking for a perfect man, Jesus is not here, okay? Okay? You can't marry Jesus. And a lot of women get very upset about that. No man is perfect. All men and women will fall short of the glory of God. And that is just the truth. So if you're looking for a perfect person that has done no wrong, you're looking for a newborn baby. Okay? And I'm not saying you have deal breakers and red flags. Definitely adhere to that. But I'm saying nobody is perfect, okay? Even a man of God that you meet will fall short of Jesus. So if you're looking for Jesus, you're gonna keep your relationship with Jesus strong. That's great. You're gonna need to marry Jesus, because no man is perfect. Men are very flawed. And a lot of women that have not had relationships with men, do not understand this because they've been at church all day. They've been at church all week. They've been at church on Sunday. They've been listening to their pastor that's encouraging them to go a certain route, but they have not had dating experiences, relationships with men, and they don't know how to navigate that. And it's scary for them. Oh, you're saying that he may have a past, okay? Most people do. But like, because you've been in church, or you may like be like, oh, I dated one or two guys. No, I suggest you, if you're a woman of God, you start dating people, not sleeping with them, but dating people, because you're going to start understanding men are very flawed, just like we all are flawed, and nobody is perfect. You're going to have to do a pro and cons list to see, does the good outweigh the bad? Are my top needs being met? And one thing that I did as a young woman when I was looking for a husband, I had 3 non-negotiable things, not 30. I had 3 non-negotiable things that I had to look for in a guy. He had to have these 3 characteristics, or I just could not deal with that. Number 1, he had to be a kind person. This world is a very cruel world, and you need somebody by your side that is going to show you kindness when it's inconvenient, when you guys are going through things, when that day gets hard, he can still show you kindness. That was number 1. Number 2, is this guy have character? Does he do what he says he's going to do 99.9% of the time, unless it's an extreme situation where he's incapable of doing what he said? He had to have character. He had to be a man of his word. Character. That was number 2. Number 3, he had to be a provider. Was this man financially stable, not only to take care of himself, but me and any offspring or children that we produce? Was he financially ready and capable of doing that? And was he okay with being the leader, providing financially? That was my 3 non-negotiables. It was kindness, character, provider. So, ladies, I suggest you get a small list together of non-negotiables and not a long list, because nobody will meet everything on your list. But three to 5 things that are non-negotiable that you have to deal with this person. And mine are pretty straightforward. You have to be a kind person. You have to have character. No, do what you say you're going to do 99.9% of the time. You have to be a provider. I was looking for provider men. That is biblical. I was looking for a traditional relationship. Am I religious? No. Am I spiritual? Yes. Do I know Jesus? Yes. Do I follow godly principles when I'm looking to connect with people? Yes, because I'm traditional. So if you're not traditional, I do not suggest you go off the Bible looking for a husband, because you're not a traditional wife. You would not be a traditional wife. So you going off the Bible would not make sense. You going off traditional, distinct, like in the Bible, it said distinct roles. And I'm going to copy and paste all of this. The scriptures that I'm quoting from, I'm going to put them in the description box. So don't worry about that. But you have to be a traditional wife in order to find a traditional husband. You have to be a traditional woman in order to find a traditional man. So if you're walking around and somebody cannot tell that, like, if you're walking around and you look very alternative, it's going to be very hard for you to find a traditional husband. Because your outward appearance, which he sees first, does not match what a traditional man will be looking for. And if there's always going to be there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. But the rule is, when you present yourself traditionally, traditional men flock to you. Ladies, if you're looking for a godly husband, it can be done. If you're looking for a man with good character, kindness, and a provider, it can be done. If you're looking for a guy that's going to do whatever you say, you're looking for a puppet, and you may find that. You might find a beta male is definitely not going to be an alpha male because he will not be under your instruction. You're not going to be able to tell this man when he needs to get up and go to church or do whatever you want him to do. You can have an alpha man, a provider. Most providers are alpha males because they are leaders. They are going to want to be in charge and make the final decision. So I definitely suggest you find a man that shows you kindness, has character, and is a provider, and actually listens to you, and not listening to you as he's going to do what you say, but he gives you a voice in the relationship. It's a difference. He's not doing everything you say, but he's giving you a voice in your relationship. You don't feel unheard, unseen. You guys may differ in opinion, but he gives you a voice. You are very seen in that relationship, and he gives you a safe space. So that's what you're looking for. And godly husbands, like you might not even find this man in church. He may not be a member of a church. A lot of young people are not members of church, but they do have relationships with God. They do have relationships with Jesus Christ. They do have those relationships, but they have not found a body. They haven't found a church where they feel like this is going to feed my relationship. They have found a lot of pop-up churches that are trying to feed their pockets. And most men are very logical, and they're like, I'm not going to be giving my money to an institution I don't believe in, or institution that is just trying to make themselves rich and get the next new Benz, gets the next new Lambo. You see, ladies? So when you're looking for husbands, especially godly husbands, you have to go with the men where men are at. Sports bars, sporting events, different places where they're doing business at, the business district in your town, business meetings that are open to the public, real estate. You can try real estate business meetings and conventions. And that's just a gem I dropped for free. So hint, hint, ladies. But you have to really be very realistic when you're looking for husbands. Are they a provider? If you're looking for a godly husband, he usually is a provider. What does that mean? He may not be super rich, but he's going to provide you with everything he has. Okay. He's not going to be stingy toward you. He's going to be fair toward you. He's going to be committed to you guys' relationship and your well-being. Ladies, this is one of the most important things you can do if you're a woman of God, is find a godly husband, or find a husband that is very close to your traditional values. And if you're not a traditional woman, please stop expecting to get a traditional husband. I'm just going to say that. A lot of women are very non-traditional. They do not like male leadership. They do not trust men. And they overall have a very negative scenario in their head about what men do and how they move. So if you've never been around real men, you've never had a father in your life, you've never had a covering over you from a father, a brother, a male that has no sexual intentions for you, you never had a covering of a husband, it's going to be very hard for you to go into marriage if you've never been covered by a male that has no sexual intentions for you. It's going to be very hard for you to go into marriage. I'm just going to tell you that, because you've never had to release leadership to a man. And that is very hard for a lot of young women in this generation. They don't trust men. They have been victimized by men. So it's understandable. And they don't even know how to communicate with men in a healthy dynamic. So it's going to be very hard for you to go into marriage because you are releasing power to that man to be the leader of your family. Okay? It's going to be very hard for you. And ladies, comment on what you think about this video. I really want to know what you guys think. I really want to know what you have experienced. Have you ever had a covering over your life? You say you want a godly husband. Have you had a covering over your life? Do you know what male covering looks like? Do you know what biblical godly covering looks like? Have you submitted to that? And a lot of women have not. Especially, I don't want to say it, but especially us girls, a lot of us black girls, even us mixed black girls, you may not have had a father in your life. You may not have had a brother or uncle or somebody you could trust physically on this earth to look out for you. So you don't know what covering looks like. And a lot of people have dropped the ball in your life. So I want you to go back in the Bible and read about the covering of God. Read about how your father was supposed to cover you, how any man that dates or courts you or in your husband, your future husband, is supposed to cover you. What does that look like? Covering this video, this is going to be part 1, ladies, but I'm just touching all the little bases. But a covering looks like this man looks out for you. This man has your best intentions at heart for you. This man he is your safe place. When the world treats you bad, you can go home. You know where to go. He is always going to use all his resources, abilities, and strengths to help you, to protect you, and to make you feel safe at every turn. That's a covering. Whatever he has, you have. That's a covering. And it's not manipulative. It's not sexist. It's not abusive, but it comes from a place of pure love, unconditional love. And because he's treating you like he's loving you, he's loving on you the way he loves Christ, is the same kind of love he's showing you. And that is from a father's point of view. That's why biblically, when you get married, your father hands you over to your husband, or whatever man that has been looking out for you and covering you hands you over to your husband. That's why. And it doesn't have to be somebody you're related. It can be your uncle. It can be a mentor that has looked out for you biblically, and he's always looked out for you. He can hand you over to your husband. But ladies, you have to understand the covering. A lot of women don't understand the covering. And I meet so many girls, and they've never had a man look out for them. Point blank, period. They've never had a covering of a father figure, of a brother, of an uncle, of a man that wants nothing for them but for them to succeed. So they don't trust men. So you're going to have to do some internal work, ladies. You're going to have to not only pray, meditate, but you're going to have to get counseling. And I suggest you get male counseling from a man. Get counseling from a man that you can build trust with. And you'll know when you find a therapist or a counselor, when you talk to him a couple times, you'll know if you can trust that man, because you've been reading about discernment, which is also in the Bible. And that's a lot about my channel. I do not push religious views on people, but a lot of women are asking me about godly coverings. They're asking me about, where do you find a godly husband? They don't know where to find these men, but we're going to explore this topic more. But it's basically, read your Bible. I want you to get a male counselor, and I'm going to give you a quick little story time. I did actually in college have a male therapist or counselor. I don't know I think he was a therapist, but he was in our counseling department. He counseled me. I could trust him. When I first went to the first, session with him, he made me feel super comfortable. And he really listened to me, and he gave me, and he was a man of God. He did let me know that he was Christian based, and I didn't really care if he was or not, but he did let me know that. He was a really good guy, and he helped me work through a lot of things, not only Christian from a Christian's point of view, but from a man's point of view. And I honestly suggest you ladies get that. And I literally would go check in with him periodically, because as a woman, you want the covering of somebody that has your back. He actually gave me job leads. Anything that I was trying to do, he would help me with. And I appreciated him. And he was not creepy or anything like that, trying to talk to me, nothing like that. Ladies, you need the covering. And if you don't know you need it, you need to go back and read your Bible about the covering of God, the covering of your father and what he was supposed to do, and figure out in your life where you can find that covering until you find your husband. because you don't need to be out here by yourself. We already seen what happens to girls out here by yourself. You've heard enough of my cautionary tales. It's very obvious that a lot of us make bad decisions because we don't have the covering of a father figure in our lives. We don't have the covering of God in our lives, and we don't even understand what covering is. It's very obvious that a lot of us are very confused. And this is what this channel is about, to unravel the confusion, to give you a place of reference to go, not to do anything that I say, but to actually do your own research, think for yourself, develop your discernment, develop a plan to not only deal with women, but to deal with men, which will lead you with dignity, respect, and self-esteem. You're dealing with people. You're dealing with people that respect you. You respect them. You're only dealing with respect. Your core values are respect. Your core values are respect, dignity, and self-esteem. So anybody that's not showing you respect, dignity, and validating your self-esteem, you don't need to be around. Okay? And finding a godly husband is going to be one of your, I would say, one of the biggest purchases of your life, kind of like a house. You're going to need to do research. You're going to need to really figure out, what do I want? Am I traditional? Do I want a traditional relationship? Or you might want to do 50-50, which I do think is a scam, but that's a whole nother video and a whole nother time and place for that. Ladies, finding a biblical husband is one of the best things you can do for your life, especially if you value committed partnership. And ladies, I'm going to just be honest with you. Every man you meet does not deserve your submission. Let's say that again. Let's go back into that. Every man you meet does not deserve your submission. That's why you have to build up that discernment. That's why you need to be covered by a man of God, or you need to be covered by a father, a brother, an uncle, somebody that you can trust, even a male therapist. You need to have covering over your life. Somebody you can go back and talk to and be like, hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you think? And because this is a man knows another man's heart. Okay. Men know men, just how women know women, just how you can meet a woman and be like, she is not worth a damn. A man knows a man and can be like, he's not worth nothing. Leave him alone. Ladies, you're looking for a godly husband. Be a godly woman. Read your Bible. Stop trying to go to events that have only women there that are telling you what you need to do to find a husband, that have been married for 20 plus years. They haven't been out here dating. They haven't been out here vetting men. They've been out the game for a while. So you need to really evaluate what kind of man am I in the era to facilitate marriage. A lot of you women are living in major cities that don't facilitate marriage. You might need to move out to the suburbs. You might need to move out to a rural town that facilitates marriage. When you go out and about, do you see a lot of couples? If not, that community may not facilitate marriage and coupling, but it may facilitate the single life and dating and partying. You have to be strategic. This is the most important purchase, aka relationship, that you're going to have in your life. And you may make mistakes, but you need to really be very vigilant. Have a journal. Write down in your journal, what's my goal in this relationship? Is this man taking me serious? Do I take this man serious? Can I trust him? Trust is at the core of everything. Can I trust him? Can I trust this man? Is he trustworthy? And that's why I suggest looking for a provider, looking for character, and looking for kindness first. And looking for a man that is open-minded. He may not be a church goer, but he's if you ask him, hey, babe, on the 19th, will you go to church with me? He'll be open to going. He will be open. He might be like, I don't really do that, but I'll go for you. You want somebody open-minded, but to find somebody open-minded, you also have to be open-minded. You see how that works both ways? To find somebody that's interdependent and wants to be in a marriage, you have to be interdependent. You can't be Miss Independent. You can't be this boss bitch. And it makes it, and like this, our culture right now for young people does not promote marriage. Let's just be honest. Especially if we're just looking at the Black culture, it does not facilitate, the Black American culture does not facilitate marriages like that. Everybody's just having babies, but nobody's creating families. And that's our problem. So, ladies, when you are with a man, you need to make these very clear to him. I would say on the third or fourth date, you need to make it very clear to him. Number one, what I'm looking for is a husband. I'm looking for a godly relationship, and I'm looking to have children by a man that is my husband. I'm looking for a traditional relationship. So you need to be honest what you're looking for. I'm looking for a provider. And you don't have to be, you can be very feminine with it. Because when I talk to men, I don't talk the way I talk to you guys. But I'm looking for a leader. I'm looking for a provider. Feminine voice control. You need to be very feminine with it, but you don't need to be forceful. But you need to let him know your needs. And most men, if they know they can't meet your needs, they will leave you alone. And you'll know the natural gradual backing up of this male that he feels like he can't meet your expectations, your qualifications of being with you. He'll naturally back up, or you'll have to back up from him, because you'll see over time with dating him, he can't meet your expectations. And long term, that's just going to cause more problems in the relationship. Anyway, ladies, let me know what you think about this video. I want you to like and subscribe, and I want you to comment about what you feel about the video. What did I leave out? Did I leave out anything? Is there anything? What are you looking for in a husband? Put it in the comments, and let's start a girls chat about finding this man that we need. Let's start a girls chat about realistic expectations of men. And I also want you girls to comment on, have you had a covering of a father? Put it in the chat. Put it in the vid. I really want you guys to comment. Have you ever had a covering? That is the major question. Have you had a covering of a man?